What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? Girl, I did not realize how wrinkled this shirt was, but baby, we'll get through it. Who cares? Anyway, we are back again for another episode review of Power Book 2 Go Season 2. No, girl. It's always something. It is always something with me. But no, this is Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3, Episode 2, okay? Need versus Greed. So we get up into the episode and it starts off and we see Miss Lauren, she's having a little dream or whatever about what's been going on and what was told to her, because at first when we see her in a hospital bed and she waking up and she all bruised up and everything, and she's like, oh my God, where am I? What happened? And it's Jenny, aka Miss DA, who is having her put up in her house or whatever. She's the one that's in the hospital with her, because apparently what happened is, now see, a lot of people, and I probably forgot to mention this last week, but Jenny, aka Miss DA, told Blanca, annoying ass, that, she got a CI working this whole situation. And at this point, like, I seen it in the comments and I was going back and forth with some people in the comments because we was trying to figure out who the CI is. And, people were saying that it was Sax. But I was like, that just don't make sense. If you want to get a CI, you get a CI within the organization, that don't really know anybody, that people can't just, oh, I already know who you are, we know not to trust you and all that stuff. So Sax would be a little bit too obvious. But later on in the beginning of this episode, when Sax was having a conversation with her, because she had came back to her apartment, because remember when we last saw her last week, she was at her house, that I guess she has out there by the lake or whatever, like a little, hideaway or whatever. That's where she got Lauren at. She was talking to Sax, and, Sax still on this whole thing about them not having a relationship that they used to have, whatever. And she was like, well, once you give me the information, if you be good. She basically implied and put it out there that Sax is her CI, okay? And my whole thing is this, that really don't make sense to me. Unless you have multiple CIs that's out there, and I get it, that's what she's saying. So, to the person that said that, Sax is the CI, that you was correct on that part, so I stand corrected. But it just wouldn't make sense to just have him just be the CI of this whole entire thing, because she's depending on him to give her information about a lot of the stuff that's been going on so that she can take down Tariq and them. Because, her whole thing is she got embarrassed in front of everybody in the court, and she was aiming to get Tariq out of the game and put him in jail, hold him responsible for a whole bunch of stuff. But Braden winds up taking the fall for it. So now her case just looked dumb, and she looked dumb as well. And so it's a whole thing about revenge. That's what she wants. She wants revenge because y'all done made her look dumb, okay? And then after that, girl, I'm sitting here like, all right, so Sax supposed to get you information, so it would make sense if he was like a CI or whatever, over at Davis' firm. But when it comes to like the operation as a whole, I feel as though you need another CI within the freaking, on the field where Tariq and the kids are basically staying at, on the school and all of that stuff. So that's why I kept on mentioning. I was like, you know what? We got two new people here. We got the TA that's that's the professor, what's her name? Harper's TA, you know what I'm saying, who was hitting on Diane. And then we got Braden's sister, who just so happened to be roommates with Braden, with Diane, looking up all her information. She all up in her business and everything, and telling her business to the TA like she know her and everything. And it was just too much. So now I don't care if they ain't got nothing to do with it. They both suspicious just because they new characters. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that's what should have happened, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I mean, we only episode 2, and I'm only at the very beginning of the episode, so we shall see. But for those that were saying that CI is Sax for her for right now, you were correct. So I stand corrected. Shout out to y'all. But we found out what happened to Lauren. I know some people was trying to say Effie was the CI, and Effie is not the CI for right now that we know. Effie really did try to kill that girl. Lauren was supposed to die. Lauren just got lucked up, okay? Because what happened was Effie knocked her ass out. Braden was supposed to take her out, probably just shoot her or whatever, but he couldn't do that because of the closeness that he was with her. And so he just couldn't build himself up to do that. And plus, he's just not a killer. Effie, on the other hand, she did what she had to do. All right. She didn't really want to kill that girl, so she didn't want the blood necessarily on her hands, meaning that she pulled the trigger. So she knocked that bitch out, put her in the car, and put the car up in neutral or drive or whatever and let it roll right into the river. So basically, she was supposed to drown. And unfortunately, well, fortunately for Lauren, unfortunately for them, that just didn't happen. Okay, so what wound up happening is some dude was walking in the woods or whatever with his dog, and they spotted the car up in the water, and they called 911, and mama was still alive. And I said, girl, you so lucky. She want to go home and everything. Jenny trying to tell her, listen, bitch, we trying to keep you safe, okay? Because right about now, Tariq and them don't know that you dead or alive. No, they don't think that you alive, all right? And see, the thing of it is, this is what's going to get Miss Jenny messed up. Because Jenny's so bent on trying to get it all pent on, what's her face? Get it all pent on Tariq, and not realizing that Tariq didn't try to kill that girl. Tariq didn't want to kill that girl, and he had no idea, I'm pretty sure. It was Kane that wanted to kill her or whatever. For sure. And I can't remember. Y'all can put it in the comment. Did he come over to the conclusion that, you know, Lauren needed to die? But I'm pretty sure that he didn't. But either way, it was because the girls, I think it was Braden and Kane was caught on the wire or whatever. Either way, he feels bad about that whole situation. And so Jenny is trying to tell her, you know, you can't leave out because you don't know exactly what happened to you. And then the people that did this probably going to see you and then be looking for you and then try to come after your family. So in order to keep you and your family safe, we got to keep you hidden for right now until we saw this stuff, okay? And she was like, girl, y'all ain't never kept me safe or whatever. That's the reason why I'm in the shit that I'm in now. I said, understandable that you would feel that way. And then, of course, when she showed him Tariq, Lauren like, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, no, Tariq didn't really do this, okay? Like, his aim wasn't trying to take her out. You know, he feels so guilty that she's no longer here because I think he was going to have her go out of state. That's what it was. I think Brady was supposed to be taking her out of state, you know, and so there it is, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, Miss Lauren is impatient. She ready to get back to real life, and she don't care at this point. But Jenny got stuff to prove. Meanwhile, the kids is over there with Mecca's drugs and all that stuff. And let me tell you something. Noma's henchman, her right-hand man, he is in his feelings, and I feel like we're going to have to watch out for him. You know, at this point in time, he being loyal to Noma or whatever, doing what she say, but he is dead in his feelings. He like, Noma is over there chilling up in Paris, and she got me over here babysitting these goddamn Americans. And I said, you know what? It just feels very much like the diaspora wars is about to pop off, okay? Because y'all know how it is. They be going in on Twitter, you know, it be Africans versus black African Americans over here in the United States. Or, you know, the English blacks versus the blacks over here in the United States. It's just be a lot, you know, and he is giving me that feel like he just look his nose down on us and mostly them niggas, especially, and put Braden in there because he an honorary nigga for this show. That's just what it was. And he basically was like, y'all gonna have to move this stuff, okay? And, girl, I don't know what Tariq said. No, Kane or something. One of them said something, and Tariq... Yeah, it was Tariq, and dude turned around and said, I can't wait to kill you when you fail. I said, wow, just put it right out there. I said, this is a lot. It's a lot of hostility for no reason. But, you know, Kane got his crew up in there from Jamaica, some Jamaicans or whatever that he trusts. Effie and, you know, Tariq's supposed to go sell the drugs on the college courses or the college campuses, minus Stanfield, because Stanfield's still hotbed and they still not over what happened with the last thing that happened, the course correct situation and everything with Braden being on the stand and all that stuff. And, Tariq still not, all the way in there. Plus, you got Braden that's going to go ahead and do the stuff with... Damn, I forgot what Braden want to go on Wall Street. That's what he want to do. He want to sell it. It's one thing to sell it on Wall Street, but then Braden want to take it a little bit further and sell it actually in the company where he works, the Weston company, and Tariq is like, I understand, but come on, you just literally put it out there that you sold drugs. And you want to do it in your company or whatever, like that just doesn't make sense right now. It's a little bit too high. And he was like, listen, you got found guilty of doing this and your punishment is a 6-figure paycheck. I didn't even get found guilty of doing anything, and I couldn't even get a freaking dorm room to sleep in, and I got to go intern and do some stuff for Tate just so that I can get a freaking dorm room, okay? And I was just like, oh, that's sad. Even Braden said that's kind of messed up, but it is. That's just how the world works when you got privilege, okay? Especially white privilege. Meanwhile, Effie is up in her feelings. I just don't know what I feel about Effie right now. I don't know if Effie feels some type of way because of what they got themselves into, or if she just feeling some type of way about the relationship with her and Tariq, because she just got an attitude with him. She got an attitude with him. He trying to figure out if she good and all that stuff, and she just coming off very she on the verge of breaking up with him. What's that? Oh, that was a bird. Okay. And I was like, all right, mama, you're going to have to get yourself together. This is a dope game. We all in this. And if we don't get this done, we all going to die. Okay, so let's put our feelings to the side. And let's just get this money right quick. Because she was like, some of us didn't grow up, don't need to just be doing it. Some of us actually need to be doing this for a reason. And she kind of implied Tariq just playing around doing this stuff. Tariq ain't got no money either. Tariq got to do this as well to sustain his life as well. So, it is what it is. Meanwhile, we get over there to Monet, right? Why is Monet? So Monet, every time we see her in the house, she's just going to be sitting back there looking at court shows, because last week it was paternity court. I don't know which court show it is this week, but I just know Young Jock is on the show. Okay. I was like, is that Young Jock? What old ass episode is this, or whatever show this is? And Davis come up in there basically giving her some information about what happened with, Zeke and who killed him and all that. And basically saying that it's a possibility that the person that tried to took out, was going after his daddy, kind of did him as well. So it was like he got a two-for type of situation. But they don't know exactly why and what happened and what's the reason. What's the reason? You don't know. Meanwhile, the whole time they having this conversation, Lorenzo is standing in the back just lurking and listening. You know what? You gotta be sick, okay? I wouldn't even be able to shit right. I'm sorry to say it like that, because I cannot hold on to something that I know I am guilty of. It'll throw me off so bad. It'll throw me off so bad, and it just mess me up, and it'll give me anxiety. I would have to say something, okay? And for him to do that, girl, I would just have to take my lick, okay? Or I just have to leave. Even if I don't tell her that, baby, I'm the reason why your kid is dead because I killed him, I would just have to leave, okay? Because I would not be able to sit there and see my woman or whoever in my family that I accidentally did this to, or my friend, suffer because of me without saying nothing. That is some evil shit, okay? And then acting like you trying to find the person when you really is the person. Girl, anyway, back over there at Braden's office at his family's company, stock company, Kiki come out there, and she was supposed to be getting some report from some dude. He laying on the table with his head down, knocked out, right? She popped him against the head with the folder and was like, get up, give me the stuff and all this stuff, woo, woo, woo. Trying to reprimand him, to get him to do what he needs to do, because they're very much slacking. And I'm just sitting here like, so you can clearly tell this is a company built off of nepotism and favoritism and all type of privilege, because how the hell is it that all these people that we done seen so far that are in this company Nobody is working. Either they're doing drugs or they're passed out because they're sleepy, because they're tired from whatever the hell it was that they was doing the night before. Probably a a drug hangover or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then when he wakes up and he tells him what to do, he gonna say, "Oh my God, Omarosa." And I said, "Hold up." Even Brady said, "Now you need to stop that. That's some bullshit. You fucked up for that." I said, "Come through, Brayden," because Brayden got a thing for little Kiki. You know, he was like, "You want to take this to HR?" She said, "No, I'm just tired of dealing with the bullshit. These trust fund interns." You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here like, well, that's what happened with you at this all-white firm, because we have yet, if we did, I missed them, seen a black brother up in there. Okay, Kiki the only one? Girl, you look like a diversity hire. Now, I don't want to be no diversity hire in nobody's place, okay? Meanwhile, that same thing that Jenny gonna say to Sax about Tariq. He was groomed for being this. Look at who his parents are. Just look like, was anybody surprised when LeBron James' son could play basketball really well? Sax said, now hold on, because you're borderline on racism, okay? I said, ooh, the white people calling out the white people a little bit. I said, all right, Sax, you still got to fucking go. Baby, get Monet about the house, all right? I need her to go shoot somebody. That's all that I need right about now. You need to really take that frustration out on somebody. And you need to just turn over and smother your husband. That's all you need to do, for real, for real. So then we get old boy that's the head of the DNC, right? He comes into Tate's campaign spot. First of all, what you not going to do is put down my spot. Be glad that it ain't expensive and all gaudy and whatever. But he basically told Tate he gonna have to do some stuff or whatever, because the numbers is not looking too good in the polls, all right? And so basically he bringing in an intern, to bring young intern to bring some more rejuvenation to the campaign or whatever. And at first we thought that it was going to be Tyreek, okay? But since Tyreek's name is still mud out there in those streets, Tate's name kind of on the shaky fence, we cannot have both of those in the place together. So when when Tariq came up in there and see that brown-skinned Keisha was sitting there and she the new intern, he was like, wait a minute, so you just gave her my spot? And she was like, first of all, ain't nobody give me nothing. I earned this. And so Tate had to say, yeah, I had to give it to somebody else, because listen, it's just not a good look. People ain't messing around with you. And then, me and you put together and we just, it just don't make sense right about now. And he was like, so what am I supposed to do? Because this is a credit that he needs to graduate. This is a credit that he needs to stay in school, all of that stuff. And he was like, you a St. Patrick, you'll figure it out. I said, child. All right. See, this is why I don't ever trust Tate. And there was a couple of people was like, I like Tate. That's fine. Tate to come through when you need it, but at the same time, he's working on his own agenda. But at the same time, also with that being said, everybody is working on their own agenda, but he is just so sneaky with it or whatever. I don't know. Something about him just rubs me raw. But y'all seen that video with him and Nia Long? It was cute. I was like, oh, y'all gonna forever play up Love Jones. Y'all really are. Truth be told, I feel like, how come Nia Long and Lorenzo Tate ain't never got together that we don't know of? You know what I'm saying? That would have been real cute. I would have really been here for that union. But anyway, so we get, the classroom thing. And if you don't know by now, the running thing that we have been seeing since season 1, I believe, or even since last season, when he got into the canonical class or whatever, the way that they incorporate the title of the most of the time the title of the episode is what the subject matter in the classroom is going to be about. It sounded like it was dying itself. Chat, it just gave up. But anyway, the name of the episode most of the time be what the subject matter is in the classroom, which I like the way that they incorporate that. I feel like with Power Ghost and putting it on the school perspective, it's just showing how, yeah, we got some people that's out here that be up in the streets, but not every person that's in the street is dumb, okay? And most of the time, a lot of them are smart as hell. And you got a lot of people that look a certain way that don't look like a typical drug dealer or a typical, I guess, criminal or whatever, because a lot of them be smart and they just come in different fashions, different forms, and that's what they're showing, especially like with Tariq. Tariq is super smart because he's one of those people that's going to actually voice his opinion, and his opinion does, you know, kind of correlate with what's going on with him. And so the topic was need versus greed. They're talking about Gandhi. They're talking about what you need in life versus greed. What makes you greedy? It was like the more you need, the more greed, the more you get, and the more you get, the greedier you get, or whatever, you know, stuff like that. So I be liking the conversation that be happening, because sometimes it ties in. It ties into what's going on with the episode. So you got that going on. Then we get over here to, you want to know what pissed me off? Remember that little boy? First of all, Diane and Effie was talking. You know, they having a little conversation about the fact that the textbooks are, you know, too much money. I said, girl, checks.com, okay? Rent them bitches for $45. Anyway, my whole thing is, since when they became cool? Okay, I thought they was like, you know, vying for Tariq and everything, and, you know, like everybody cool now. And then she was like, you know, some of the TAs, they got some books or whatever that they'll probably give you. And so Diana look over there at the TA. Let me just tell you something. TA look a little off, okay? First of all, I feel a little weird about him being up in that class going after Diane, because at this point, I guess since Tariq is 19 years old, Diane's supposed to be around that age too, and Mr. TA looked like he damn near 30. I ain't even gonna lie. He really looked like he damn near 30. Granted, they of age and it's legal, whatever, but I don't know, it just seems and feels a little bit weird. Like, why are you here? You know? Meanwhile, back over there at the Weston's, you know, firm and everything, that boy that called Kiki Omarosa, he didn't get kicked out the intern program because Braden set him up, made it seem like he was having some messed up files on his computers, and then they found tiki torches and stuff of this. I said, what? I said, now I know you was trying to get that man out of there and trying to teach him a lesson, but it was one thing to put the messed up, probably like, you know, discriminatory stuff that was being said or whatever on his computer. But to have the tiki torch, y'all remember where that came from, okay? Baby, I said that was a little bit too much, and that would have signified to me that, you know, somebody was setting him up or whatever. But in this kind of environment, and the fact that he was white and everything, and then Kiki was there right there, baby. Daddy Weston said, we ain't finna do all this discriminatory stuff. This is not what we stand for. You gonna get the fuck out of here. Your internship is null and void, canceled. Oh, wait till I tell my father. Oh, I cannot stand that. I can't wait to encounter somebody to tell me. But wait till I tell my father this. Tell your father, and he can kiss all inside the brown hole in my ass, okay? Baby, did y'all ever hear that song that's out called Pound Town? Pound Town, come around, my coochie's pink, my booty hole's brown. What is talent these days? I just don't understand, because what? How? It is catchy, but it is ignorantly dumb. Anyway, so he got put out. And so because of that, Kiki gets turned on and basically jumps his bone a little bit up in the elevator, and then they go to a private floor and have sex. My whole thing is, damn, so how we jump all the way to that? And is it me, or did the thing look so forced and awkward? Like, we already kind of knew that eventually Braden and old girl was gonna get together, because Braden was already here for her once he first saw her, right? But at the same time, it was just so weird, and the chemistry wasn't really there at that moment when they was in the elevator to me, because the kiss just didn't seem right. It just seemed a little bit too forced, like she was trying to find his lip and make sure he had some lips. You know what I'm saying? But then they go onto the floor, a little private floor. Imagine having so much money that you own a whole building, that you got a whole private floor, and then come to find out you got multiple private floors, okay? And that you could just do any and everything that you want. Wow, I want to make it there, you know? And they get to have sex. Truth be told, I feel like Kiki looked like, you know what it is? I feel like Kiki older than him. And it just seems a little awkward. I don't know. It just felt awkward. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. But it just felt a little awkward, a little weird. So when Tariq wound up telling them about the fact that you know, he lost his internship. What's his name? Braden, you know, said you can be an intern at my daddy firm or whatever. And he was like, nah, bruh. He was like, I gotta do this stuff, and you know, this ain't, cause he kept on. He was like, you want me to come up there so we can sell some drugs? And you gotta remember, I can't be doing all this mess after everything that happened, okay? Listen, my life is messed up. I gotta find a way to get up out of this whole situation. Unlike you, you don't have to do that, okay? This is about my family. If I'm doing all of this at the end of the day because I need to see my sisters, see my sister and my mama again. And he was like, Effie was like, well, we're your family too. I said, girl, shut up. Not in this aspect, okay? You know, you get what he trying to say. And so he said, listen, if you do this, we ain't gotta sell drugs, but this is so that you can stay in school, you can get your credit and all this stuff, you know. And Tariq also was concerned about it because he was like, your daddy don't want me up there, your daddy don't want me around you, period. And he was like, don't worry about it. So of course, once he said that, I knew he was gonna go to his uncle. And of course, he come up in there and daddy saw him and said, Braden, I mean, the whole government, I can't remember what the middle name was, Braden so-and-so Weston, get up here right now. Now, let me tell you something. It's one thing that I'm working at the company that got my family name on it, and my daddy is the head boss with my uncle. But it is another thing that you call me out in front of the whole goddamn company like you about to take your belt off and whoop my ass in front of everybody because I'm finna get in trouble because I spilled the milk on the table and I didn't clean it up. No, do not do that and do not embarrass me. Because like Braden said, Daddy, I'm a grown-ass man, okay? You cannot pick who my friends are. And my whole thing was, Mr. Weston, why are you so mad at Tariq when your son was the one that got up there on that stand and admitted that he was a drug dealer? Granted, I'm pretty sure you knew he was lying, but then again, you don't know that. But, you know, Braden really wasn't telling a lie. He was dealing drugs up at Stanfield. He didn't come up with course correct, but he was up there stealing them drugs, you know, selling them drugs or whatever. So it's like, why is you so mad at Tariq? He didn't put the drugs up in that man's hand. Your son did that. He went on ahead and did what he had to do. And it was even the uncle said, so you're really gonna take it out. You know how this looks? You basically taking it out on this young black man for something that your son admittedly did, selling drugs on school. I said, oops. They was like, baby, that's racism. And you just got through firing old boy for the tiki torch and all that stuff and talking about so we not here for discrimination or whatever, but then you getting up in your feelings because Tariq coming up here because he black and you trying to blame him for so. That's what you making it seem like. You was like, that's not what it is. This is different. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But, you know, it is what it is. Of course, Trace got something to say. He gonna say so. So what? We're about to start celebrating Juneteenth? I mean, we'll have the whole venue to ourselves then. I said, boy, if you don't shut up, baby, you would think a person like Trace would be appreciative to the fact that he still got his life when his life was almost taken back home, then the position that he put him in. And so, you know, he's still such an a-hole. And remember, if you go back and you look at my what it is at the very end, I talked about Tekashi 6ix9ine getting jumped. And I said, he not going to change. He got his ass beat and his ribs broken. And he's not going to change. And sure enough, he said he ain't gonna be walking around with no more security or whatever. No, he ain't upping the security. And for the people that did the stuff to him, he want to fight them. He want to fight them. If you lose, you die. This is what I'm talking about. And Trace is the same way, okay? Baby, they don't care. They have a gun. They can get shot in their ass, and they're still going to keep on doing the same thing. So, of course, Tariq got the internship. Meanwhile, speaking to kids and stuff, let's go over there to Kane and them. We get Drew because Kane was about to go, but Kane had to tell Daddy Tejada, listen, so you got all this stuff and this is what we gonna do or whatever. He's like, I told you, I'm not finna be selling no drugs for Mecca or even having any involvement with Mecca and his crew and all that stuff. I said, boy, if you don't get your ass over, Mecca is dead. Sell them drugs and get that money, all right? Do what you gotta do. And it was like, you know what? But and where's Drew? Drew didn't tell me nothing about this. It was like Drew ain't tell you nothing because he probably over there with Emmett. Okay, he probably over there with Everett. That's his name. He probably over there with him. All right, he brought that dude all up in the penthouse when we was having the thing that we was having trying to get the connect, and you know he didn't saw him. Baby, pause. I did not realize until after the episode that the dude that was up in the penthouse that he was trying to get the original connect for, with that kind of like played him and said, bitch, I don't give a damn about Lorenzo and how he brought me up. That's Big Mike from the Wood. I said, what? Oh my God, he's so cute still. Oh, I wonder what happened to him. I ain't seen him in a long time. He looks really nice. Anyway, good to see you. Moving on from that, baby, he just read it at Mr. Drew saying basically he fucking around with that nigga. He ain't ready for this. He ain't ready to lead or whatever. That's why that's why I need to put you in charge. Yeah, that's what it is. You ain't ready either, okay? And you ain't ready because you ain't got my trust. If you want to gain my trust, you go out here and you find a nigga that the people that killed your mama's son. That's what you need to do. And once you find that and take care of him, then you can get my trust back and gonna walk up the steps. I said, excuse the fuck out of me. You gotta be goddamn playing me, goddamn it, Lorenzo. Lorenzo, you are digging this hole deeper and deeper and deeper, okay? Because now we finna have innocent people out here, just lives finna be taken and just finna be messed up. Because what do we see? We see Drew over there playing around with Everett, because Everett, I guess, got drafted to OKC, which is the Oklahoma Thunders or whatever. So he about to go over there. They're about to have a signing day party or whatever at the club. He want Drew to be his +1, but not in the capacity of his boyfriend because he's not out, and because you know how the politics of that is and how homophobic people are and all that stuff. And Drew, this is what I just don't understand. Drew, you still want to get up in your feelings because the boy don't want to be out with you like that, and he don't want to put a title on it in public like that for the safety of his career that's just now starting. And you getting in your feelings like you already knew that he was in the closet. So why are you trying to force? If you don't want to be a secret, why get with somebody that's in the closet? I don't understand that. And then get upset when they not finna come out the when you want them to. Like, get the hell on with that, Drew. Like, that makes me so mad. Don't put him in that position. All right, you had the decision and you had the choice to say, no, I can't continue this relationship because I don't want to be your little secret. This ain't escape. Okay, we ain't finna do that, you know, so that's on you. Stop trying to force that boy to do something that he's not ready to do, and it's gonna jeopardize his future for right now. Wait until he get a little bit settled, and if you can't wait till then, leave him alone, okay? Let him go do his thing in the closet the way that he been doing. Meanwhile, you got Evelyn. Y'all remember Uncle Frank that got killed last season by the Tejadas, Monet and them? Yeah. So Evelyn, his wife, came over there and was like, you know, trying to give her condolences and everything. It was like, he was there for me when Frank died. I'm gonna be there for you. And, you know, was giving her some little stuff or whatever, little information and all this stuff, and just being there for her and fix her some food. And Monet was about to give her some money, right? Evelyn said, no, girl, that's okay. That's okay. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. And so she reached in her pocketbook, and she got out a big bankroll. She said, my boy's been back taking care of me. I know how it is, you know what I'm saying? I said, wait a minute. So y'all was just about to just give each other money like that, baby? I want to have people in my circle like that. Listen, we don't give gifts, we give money, okay? Because listen, times are hard. Times are hard. Meanwhile, we get to one of the scenes that kind of fucked me up a little bit. Kane is over there torturing the pilot and I think the bodyguard that was on staff or whatever at that time, because that was over there where Zeke was at Mecca's plane, trying to see who it was that did what they did. And of course the pilot don't know nothing. All he could say is, and this is after he took the blowtorch and literally blowtorched his hand. He said, you could drive the plane with your one hand. I said, oh my goodness, no. That didn't disturb me as much as what happened to the black guy that was sitting next to him. Because the pilot said all he saw was it was a bald-headed dude that had this jacket on. Um, and he had it flipped collar and all that stuff with some zippers. And so the black dude was like, I don't know who it was. I ain't see him. And he took that blowtorch and he put it in his ear and on the side of his face. Baby, when I tell you I cringed so hard, I said, oh my goodness. Because I know I ain't the only one that's ever imagined, like, how do people feel when they get burnt like that? Oh my God, and then you just gonna do that to him for real, for real? And dude said, all I know was the car left and he had a broken tail light. I said, so what y'all about to do with him now, Kane? You ain't have to do that. Mind you, Lorenzo, you need your ass whooped. You are such a sick bitch. You are a sick bitch for this. I just don't understand. Monet is going through all of this and you got your son going through all of this to prove his loyalty to you and you the one that they looking for. Wow. Wow. This is what we doing, Lorenzo? Oh, what a stand-up guy you are, huh? So you got Effie up there, you know, packaging up the stuff, okay? You know, section it off. This is for Yale. This is for Harvard. This is for Brown. This is for Cornell. This is for whoever, okay? All the little Ivy League in all the schools that's up there. And, you know, Tyreek had text her saying that this internship stuff might be over before it started. So what you doing? I don't know if she responded back to it because she was up there doing her little thing. And did you notice that she also made a little pack for, whatchamacallit, Stanfield. Now, y'all ain't supposed to be up there selling nothing at Stanfield, okay? So it's like, girl, what you about to do? Meanwhile, you get Diane going over there to Mr. T.A. man and, you know, asking about the books and stuff. And he said, okay, cool, we got some textbooks right over there. And then because she got a little Balenciaga backpack on, he was like, how is it that you can afford you wearing Balenciaga, but you can't afford school books? I said, wait a minute, sir. Get about my business. You don't know my circumstances. And just because I can afford this and afford that, baby, I don't need to be paying all this goddamn money for these books that I'm only going to use for one semester. Okay? No. Let me get the cheap stuff, all right? But she said, my parents, they paying for the school, but I got to pay for everything else. So that's why. All right, cool. So, you know, something about him just, I don't know. We'll get there. We'll get there. We finally get Monet out the house and she minding her business driving in her car. But remember when Evelyn came over there and talked to her, she had said, it's been this white cop named Whitman or something that was going around talking to her and asking her questions and everything about Frank and all this stuff. So just to be aware, that's why she was finna give her the money for that tip and all that stuff. And so when Monet was out here driving, minding her business, here comes Detective Whitman pulling her over, basically questioning her about Carrie's death. Baby, that hoe is dead. And I mean hoe on all fronts, okay? She is dead. She is gone. And this is what gets me about the police officers, the CIA, the FBI, whatever agency dealing with the law that's on here. They are irritating as freak. Like, girl, we can't have at least one police officer, one person from these agencies that's okay, that we can get down with, that don't annoy us to all end. Like this man, he puts it on extra thick. And truth be told, he to me right about now, because Blanca ass ain't really on here like that yet, he way more annoying than her at this point. And it's because he's going off so hard. He's too hard. He's too obvious. And Jenny done already told him to chill the fuck out and that he ain't got no bearings on this whole situation. Get up off this case. Leave Monet alone. And so he up there talking about some, Z came to me and told me about Carrie and you, and then we got you on camera leaving Carrie's area after we found out around the same time that Carrie probably died, quote unquote, you know. And then Detective Ramirez, he dead, so your little boyfriend can't help you out. And she was like, baby, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You need to leave me alone. And he gonna bust her window. Bust her side mirror. I said, are you serious? I said, first of all, that was so fake and so dramatic. Grow up, okay? You need to grow up, sir. You know, because you can't get your way. So, of course, Monet had to call Davis and tell him what was going on. Davis pissed, telling Sachs, talk to your girl and tell her she needs to get that nigga up in check. So he gonna say, call her and say, do you know Detective Whitman? And are you working with him or whatever? So, of course, she lied and said she don't know nothing about him. Hang it up. And now she's pissed because she told him to stop. But of course, he won't. Meanwhile, over there at the Westons and Holding, you got Braden at his desk. He see the dudes come past. They, of course, about to go to the conference meeting, and y'all know what they do up in the conference room. They get high and everything. So you got Tariq sitting at his desk, and then Braden sends a iMessage or whatever to Kiki, basically telling them that we should get Tariq to fix up the conference room for the next meeting. And she was like, I forgot that, interns actually do stuff, because the ones that they had wasn't doing nothing. So that's what they told Kiki to do. Kiki told Tariq to do. Tariq come up into the conference room and see the same three dudes up in there getting high and all this stuff and talking about what they was doing. My whole thing is this. I don't know, like, baby, that just don't seem fun, okay? That don't seem fun, being so whacked out my mind to the point that when I come down from the high or from the alcohol or whatever, I'm hungover, I'm drug hungover, all of that, got a headache, and then I gotta do more stuff just to keep going, and then you gonna go back out and do it the next night. Like, baby, I'm not one of those person that can do that shit consecutively, okay? First of all, I can't do drugs like that. I'm just too scared to do that. As most as I do is some weed. Alcohol is the limit. That's it. But even then, I can't go out drinking multiple days back to back like that. They talking about something, yeah, we're going to do it again tonight. I said, hold on, look at how I look. Look at the bags and the black rings around your eyes. You need to go get some sleep. That's what you need, okay? But no, Tariq see all of this. They go to the strip club like everybody there, including Kiki. And then earlier, when Braden was taking him around talking to about how the company works or whatever, they had a personal trainer. This personal trainer was at the club too. He is the supplier for the drugs, that be getting them at the company. Come to find out, the higher ups know that they doing drugs, but they can't. Oh, that was nasty. They can't do nothing about it because they don't know who is giving them the drugs. The trainer is actually putting it like up in the protein powder boxes and stuff and giving it to them. That's how they get it up in there. And so at this point, this was all part of Braden's plan. Braden been trying to get Tyreek to come up there and to sell drugs because, he had the country clubs on lock or whatever. And he said he had already gave off 2 kilos already at the 2 packs at the country club. And he was like, 2 packs already? Now, if we got 30 people on our floor and then we got this many people in the whole building and all this stuff, we can get rid of the whole inventory right then and there. So now, this whole ploy that Braden did to get Tariq to see, yes, we need to start selling drugs on Wall Street in our building right about now. And so now, Tariq is on board. I said, oh, all right. So, what the freak just happened? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. So you got that going on. Meanwhile, you see, Diane and, well, first of all, Diane is over there at the, black student situation or whatever. It's a little corner of Stansfield that people don't really talk about, but it's for the black kids, I guess. And she with the TA. He telling her stuff, and they talking about different candies and all that stuff or whatever. Of course, he just basically flirting with each other. And in this scene, I was just looking at him in the way that he was looking at her, and I'm just looking at him in general. He looks 30-something trying to play a 20-something hitting on a 19-year-old. And something about him, I don't know, like, it just don't work for me. It don't work for me. And I feel like it's the actual actor that's playing him. I wish they would have probably got somebody else. He's coming off a little weird to me. I don't know. He just coming off a little, not all the way there to me. I don't know. It's just, look, he kind of creeped me out a little bit. Maybe it's just me, but I just don't get a real easy feeling. And of course, Effie and Tariq come up in there, and Effie is all up on Tariq, like holding his hand. He was like, oh, so now you can hold my hand and all that. We can act like a couple. She was like, people don't know who we are up in here, whatever, so who cares? It's fine. And she go up in there with him, and they talking about stuff and everything. And, Diane sees them. And, of course, Diane gets in her feeling. I said, what? Are you serious? You really finna get up in your feelings like this? Girl, get over it, okay? Your time has passed. You with Mr. T.A. dude, and that's just what it is. Get over it. Calm your puss, okay? Meanwhile, your brother is out here getting attacked on the street by some dude trying to take revenge for Lil Guap getting killed. Talking about, son, I leave and I come back and my whole crew got wiped out. He done knocked the shit out of goddamn Drew. Beat him up just a little bit. When he pulled him in that alley, off the sidewalk into that alley or whatever, and he turned his ass over, I said, oh my God, what are you about to do? Baby, I thought he was about to, okay, I know I ain't the only one who thought that. I said, oh no, what are we doing? Baby, he turns him over and I heard some things jingling like he was finna unbuckle his own pants. I said, No, he took a spray can out and sprayed the back of his back with the TGT initials and then yanked his chain, turned him back over, yanked his chain off and said, this for Lil Guap. If I see you again, I'm gonna kill you. And I said, boy. And so when he get home, you got Monet taking care of him, Kane sitting over there, and Lorenzo, and he was like, I don't know, because Monet said, I thought y'all handled all of this or whatever. And my whole thing is, why is it that, even Drew's like, well, I don't even know what this all about, Lil Guap, because how come they ain't kill me? How come that's all that they did and all that? It was real confusing. And so after that, Monet told him to go up there so she could get the paint off his back. And when that happened, so Lorenzo talking to, Kane and was like, you need to find who did this or whatever, because whoever did this probably had something to do with, I guess, Zeke and everything. And he was like, no, I don't think so. He was like, but what? I feel like in this moment, because Kane looked over there at the box that said Zeke, right? And I feel as though Kane is putting two and two together. The man told him that the person that did this was bald-headed. Lorenzo was bald-headed. So that's one. But I really feel like Kane is really putting two and two together right about now. But when, what's his name? Tariq got a text from the trainer dude saying that he could come in for a session because they got to get the trainer dude out. They got to get him out so that they can get their supplies in. So basically setting his ass up. And I'm like, all right, come on, let's do what we got to do, okay? And I said, we gonna see how this go. Selling that drugs on Wall Street. Have y'all ever looked at the movie Wolf of Wall Street? Leonardo and DiCaprio in there was on one. And all the drugs and coke and everything that they were sniffing and snorting and all that stuff. Oh my God, I'm surprised ain't nobody that overdose yet, because they were just going in. And even on this episode, I'm sitting here like, how y'all sniffing all this stuff? The inside of y'all nose should be eating away at already. Like, it shouldn't be even existent. Baby, Braden set all that up, okay? Just for them to get up into Wall Street, just for them to start selling them drugs. The whole situation with the internship, he done paid off Tate to switch it to, brown skin Keisha, whatever, and don't want, what's his name, Tariq, to ever find out about none of this mess. Baby, it is a lot. It is some bull. I said, so you can't trust the people around you. Now, Braden, I understand what you're doing, but you ain't have to do this, okay? You ain't have to do this, because then when Tariq finds out that you had a little play in this, it's going to fracture y'all friendship just a little bit, Next thing we know, we get Detective Rodriguez. Blanca bring her ass up in there to Jenny and say, my people, we cannot get anything to do in this Rico case. We don't have enough evidence to go around about it. I said, girl, don't nobody care, okay? Because ain't nobody buying the fact that a 19-year-old is the one that's about to start this whole drug war, this drug organization and stuff like that. And so at this point, Whitman bring his ass up in there. Let me just tell you this. You got three of the most annoying people on this show all in one room. All we needed to do was add Sax, and it would have been a goddamn kerfuffle, okay? Because I'm just over it. Baby, Jenny cussed out Whitman and said, why is it that, I'm getting a word that you up here harassing Monet Tejada when I told you to stop? I'm going to go over your head and go to your supervisor. He said, that's fine, because first of all, you wasn't my supervisor. She said, I can go to your supervisor. He was like, but maybe you need to hear what I got to say. She in on this? Yeah, she in on it. Okay, so y'all up here looking for the kingpin, the queen pin, all of this stuff. You trying to pin this stuff on the St. Patrick kid, but that ain't where it's at. You need to look into Monet Tejada because she has some stuff to do with it. The whole connection that she got to all of these people is she got a connection to Dante. She got a connection to Zeke. Okay, so 9 out of 10, she probably getting her money and her supply or whatever from Dante, and that's the reason why he ended up the way that he ended up. Baby, all the light bulbs up in Jenny's head start blinking. Bing, 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 bing. Damn. Blanca was like, maybe that's the evidence right there for our Rico case. Because then he started talking about the fact that, and it was so crass the way that he said it. I said maybe that man at the beginning of the season, episode 1 was right when he said, you Americans are so crass. Because instead of just saying that, Monet got a little thing, had a little thing going on with Damien, he was like, Monet was fucking Damien. I said, wait a minute. You didn't have to say it like that. It didn't even sound right coming out his mouth, okay? It was so forced and everything. So then that's when everybody just started putting stuff together, And I said, oh my goodness. So these 3 musketeers finna team up and I'm just not here for it. Meanwhile, Kane went to the little place where old boy that attacked Drew and found him and his crew, then shot them up and then got old boy and found like Zeke's ring that was on the necklace that what's his name had. Found it in his pocket, right? And so he was like, okay. He was just looking at it like, Remember when I said Mr. Kane is trying to put 2 and 2 together, okay? Kane is not as dumb as people try to make him or dumb like his daddy try to make him. Kane may, act before he thinks sometimes, but when it comes time to putting pieces together, when it needs to be, he gonna put that thing together like a jigsaw puzzle. And that's exactly what he did at the end of this episode. And I was so here for it. Meanwhile, speaking of Drew going over there waiting on Everett to come back from wherever he was to his dorms and all that stuff at the athletic department and trying to tell him that he's sorry that he wasn't there and all of this stuff. And Everett wasn't trying to hear it. He said, basically, we done. Okay, I bet you had an excuse and all this stuff. He said, nigga, don't you see my face? I got jumped. Okay? And Everett just really wasn't here for it. He said, what, you got jumped by the people that jumped you in the club? Or you got jumped by somebody else? I'm just not tired. I can't have this in my life, okay? Your family, all of this stuff, it's just too much. It's over, it's done. I'm going to OKC and I'm finna live my life and have a good time. And I said, you know what? That's just the best thing that they need to do at this point. And truth be told, the way Drew was looking, I was scared that Drew was going to throw his ass over there over the thing. And honestly, I was also a little bit nervous because I thought Drew was probably gonna kiss him right there in front of everybody. And I'm sitting here like y'all already having a lovers quarrel right here in front of everybody and dude ain't out. It just looked a little suspect, okay? Calm down. But then Drew get a text from Tariq saying that they need him downtown because Kane ain't answering the phone. So, Tariq was over there with old boy, the trainer, and he just had a session with him. And so once he finished, Drew was sitting outside and he was looking and he was following that man until he got to the corner. He was waiting across the street. And I think he was looking on his phone or something like that. Next thing you know, a truck was coming. And so Drew pushed him out there in the street. I said, oh my God. That wasn't where I said, oh my God. I said, get up, bitch, get up. Girl, he lay flat for a good 5 seconds. That truck came pumbling right over him. I said, he just worked out trying to get his body in shape just for him to die in pieces? Wow, what a turn of events. And so this leads the other dudes that was in the office, they go to they lockers or whatever, they see little new cars and all that stuff. Basically like, what is this? It was upgraded, and that was Tariq's calling card saying, baby, this was where y'all finna get the new product from and all that stuff. Speaking of, Effie was in her dorm and she was about to upload the course correct again. And I said, now see, Effie, girl, we was just starting to kind of like you just slightly, but now you about to do some underhanded, backhanded stuff, and I'm just not here for it. And I'm so glad her better judgment for right now told her don't click that shit, so she canceled it. And then, Tariq came up in there and did what he had to do, telling her about how everything's all set up and it's all good or whatever. And we got Sax up here going through Davis stuff, found his little burner phone, called the number that was in there, and it just so happened to be Monet Tejadas. And she was like, listen, I ain't got nothing to talk to you right about now because I'm just clearing up some stuff that happened with Zeke, this situation with Zeke. And I said, oh my goodness. So now that's one of the smoking guns that I guess he gonna use with the fact that Davis is still working with Monet, which we already knew and which he already knew too, because Davis literally just told you to go talk to your girl about Whitman harassing her. So I was like, what is the, I was, Sax is just irritating as hell. So he going through all his history and everything. And I was just like really, really upset. So then we get to this whole situation with the dudes that messed up, what's his name? Drew. So they got him over there in the diner where they be doing their drug stuff, they little headquarters, right? It's Kane, it's Monet, and it's Lorenzo plus old boy, right? And so dude look a little older anyway. And I guess you can say that's supposed to have been Lorenzo. And at this moment, that's when, before they even started questioning him, that's when I realized that this was all a setup. Because he was like, so why would you do this? Why would you go after Drew and all of this stuff and woo, woo, woo? And he was like, so-and-so, he said, who paid you to go after Drew? And so that's when Kane started putting two to two together, like, yeah, this is a little bit of a setup. And even if we didn't realize that it was a setup, we knew something was funny, because all of a sudden, how is it that Monet has been looking for this person this whole time, and then all of a sudden they just pop up free and clear, and it's so easy to get at them, and we got it, and that's it. Because dude was even saying, I literally just got back here. I wasn't even here when Zeke got killed. So what are you talking about? Because it was Lorenzo that kept on saying, he the one that beat up Drew and he the one that killed Zeke. Okay? This gotta be him. This gotta be him. Who told you to kill Zeke? Who told you to beat up Drew? Who did this and who did that? And then Kane showed him the Zeke ring that was up in his pocket and all that stuff. And he was like, oh, so this gotta be the dude. And when he was like, who paid you? He was like, somebody paid me to do this. I was paid to do this or whatever, some. But I ain't do nothing to Zeke. I don't know nothing about that. And before he can answer anything, because Lorenzo just kept on interjecting. And I said, Lorenzo, baby, if you going to try to save your ass, you going to have to, you are going to have to learn how to act a little bit better, because the way that you was acting, it was horrible. You gave yourself away. Even if I was still on the fence about this guy, you gave yourself away, okay? Even though we already knew that he ain't had nothing to do with it. If I was Monet and Kane, I would have been like, your acting is horrible. What do you know about this? But, Monet was up in her feelings. She said, fuck it, I don't want to hear nothing else. Pop, 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 pop. Killed the dude. So Kane is putting the body up in the bag, in the trunk, right? And so Lorenzo come out there like, yeah, we did a good thing and you got that done and all this stuff. And he was like, yeah, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. And Lorenzo noticed that Kane just really wasn't as, excited about this being done and over with, because it was just too easy. Kane figured that shit out and said, listen, it was this whole time we've been trying to find this killer or whatever. And then the pilot talking about I didn't talk to the pilot. He talked about something with a bald-headed dude with a busted tail light. So when you get that tail light fixed, that's what he asked him first. He said, I got it fixed a while ago. You already know that. And that's when he told him what it was. He said a dude in a dark jacket with a bald head and a whole bunch of zippers and a flipped up collar and all that stuff on his jacket. And he was wearing the same thing almost. a dark jacket with the big zipper with the bald head, okay? And he was like, I know that you killed Zeke, and I also know that you killed Zeke. What I figured it out was when dude said that somebody set him up, okay? Somebody hired him to do that to Zeke, to Drew. And it was like nobody in the family knew, nobody else on the street knew that Drew was the one that killed Lil Guap. So how did he know that? Okay, so it has to be somebody in the family that told him that, because the only people that knew that was the family. Okay, and so at that point, that's how I realized that you had something to do with it. And then the fact that old boy had Zeke's ring, Zeke was not wearing that ring when he got killed. That ring was up in a box of stuff that Monet would not go through of Zeke's, okay? And because you knew that Zeke, Monet wasn't going through the box or whatever, you went through it and you got the ring and you gave it to old boy when you hired him to make it seem like he beat up Drew and all this stuff, so that you could say that he killed Zeke. Let me tell you something. He was like, at first he tried to deny it. Why would you think I would try to hurt her like that? It was like, it was an accident. I thought she was going over there with Mecca, and then I thought that was him and all this stuff. And it was like, I would never do anything to hurt your mama like that. I would have been like, but you did. And he said, you know what? This whole time you up here talking about I wasn't ready to rule. I wasn't ready to take lead and all this stuff, and it was supposed to be for Drew. And you even stupider than I thought with this comment that you just gave, okay? Now let me just tell you this. Now I got you by the motherfucking balls, okay? So you're gonna do what I say, and I say get your ass out there on that corner and go sell that goddamn drugs from Mecca. I said, bitch. There you go. Now, see, sometimes Kane be doing a lot, and it be making us like, girl, Kane, you're going to have to go. You're going to have to slow down. But in this instant, I'm here for it. Because, Lorenzo, you dead ass wrong. You dead. You called somebody to... He literally came back from another country just to get killed. Wow, how evil can you be? How evil can you be? You did that to your brethren. Okay, that is so... Hermano. Like, no, that is wrong. Anyway, that was... power. So far, the season is going good for me. It's giving me just enough, okay? And that's how I like it. I don't like too much. It's whetting my appetite, and it's giving me like, oh, I can't wait for the next episode. So y'all tell me how y'all dealing with it, how y'all liking it so far, and I will see you guys later. Peace. Ooh.